The Victory Method: How to Fight Procrastination Through Small Victories. Transform your life one tiny win at a time. What if I told you that the secret to conquering procrastination isn't willpower, discipline, or motivation? What if the answer lies not in grand gestures or dramatic life overhauls, but in something so simple you might dismiss it as trivial? The truth is, every time you delay that important task, you're not lacking strength, you're lacking strategy. And the most powerful strategy isn't about doing more, it's about celebrating less. Welcome to the revolution of small victories, where the smallest actions create the biggest transformations. Introduction: the procrastination paradox. Picture this. It's Sunday evening, and you're staring at your to-do list. The presentation that's due Monday morning sits there, mocking you. You've had 2 weeks to work on it, yet here you are, feeling that familiar knot in your stomach. You promise yourself you'll start after dinner, then after one episode, then after checking social media, just for 5 minutes. Sound familiar? You're not alone. Studies show that 95% of people admit to procrastinating regularly, and for 25% of adults, procrastination isn't just a bad habit, it's a way of life that's actively sabotaging their potential. But here's what most people don't understand about procrastination. It's not a character flaw. It's not about being lazy or lacking discipline. Procrastination is your brain's misguided attempt to protect you from discomfort, uncertainty, and potential failure. And once you understand this, you can work with your brain instead of against it. That's where small victories come in. They're not just feel-good moments or participation trophies. They're strategic tools that rewire your brain's relationship with tasks, building momentum where there was once paralysis, and creating confidence where there was once fear. Chapter 1: The Science of Small Victories. Understanding your brain's operating system. Your brain runs on a simple principle: seek pleasure, avoid pain. When you think about that big project, your brain doesn't see opportunity, it sees threat. The presentation could go badly. The report might not meet expectations. The creative project could reveal your limitations. So your brain does what it's designed to do. It protects you by finding something else to focus on. This is where small victories become revolutionary. They hack your brain's reward system, creating positive associations with tasks that previously felt overwhelming. When you complete even the tiniest action toward your goal, your brain releases dopamine, the same chemical that makes you feel good when you eat chocolate or receive a text from someone you like. The compound effect of micro-achievements. James works in marketing for a tech startup. For months, he'd been putting off writing a comprehensive strategy document that his CEO requested. Every time he thought about it, he felt overwhelmed by the scope. The document needed market analysis, competitor research, budget projections, and strategic recommendations. It felt impossibly large. Then James tried something different. Instead of trying to write the entire document, he committed to just opening a blank document and writing the title. That's it. The next day, he wrote just the first subheading. The day after that, he found one statistic about his target market. Within 2 weeks, James had not only completed the document, but had created something far more comprehensive than he'd originally planned. The secret wasn't sudden motivation or newfound discipline. It was the psychological momentum created by small victories. Each tiny completion gave James a small hit of satisfaction, making the next small step feel less daunting. More importantly, it changed his identity. Instead of being someone who procrastinates on big projects, he became someone who makes daily progress on important work. The neurological truth about habit formation. Neuroscientist Dr. Anne Grabiel's research at MIT reveals that habits form through a neurological loop consisting of a cue, routine, and reward. But here's the crucial insight. The brain doesn't distinguish between big rewards and small ones when it comes to reinforcement. A small victory triggers the same neurological pathways as a major achievement. This means that celebrating the completion of a 5-minute task can be just as neurologically powerful as celebrating a major milestone. Your brain learns that taking action leads to positive feelings, making future action more likely. Chapter 2. The Anatomy of Procrastination. The 4 Phases of Procrastination. Before we can effectively use small victories, we need to understand what we're fighting. Procrastination isn't one size fits all. It comes in 4 distinct varieties, each requiring a slightly different approach. The perfectionist procrastinator delays starting because they're terrified the result won't meet their impossibly high standards. Sarah, a graphic designer, spent 3 days researching fonts for a simple logo design because she was convinced there was one perfect choice that would make or break the project. The overwhelmed procrastinator sees the full scope of a project and freezes. Like Marcus, an MBA student who stared at his thesis requirements and spent 2 weeks organizing his desk instead of writing because the 100-page requirement felt insurmountable. The comfort zone procrastinator avoids tasks that require new skills or challenge their current abilities. Jennifer, an accountant, delayed learning a new software system for 6 months, choosing to stick with her outdated but familiar tools. The instant gratification procrastinator consistently chooses short-term pleasure over long-term benefits. David knows he should work on his novel, but Netflix provides immediate entertainment, while writing requires sustained effort with delayed rewards. Understanding your procrastination type helps you design more effective small victories. The perfectionist needs victories that prove good enough is actually good. The overwhelmed procrastinator needs victories that break large tasks into tiny pieces. The comfort zone procrastinator needs victories that make new challenges feel safe. The instant gratification procrastinator needs victories that provide quick hits of satisfaction. The hidden cost of delay. Procrastination isn't just about missed deadlines or incomplete projects. It's about the compound effect of unrealized potential. When Dr. Piers Steele studied chronic procrastinators, he found that over a lifetime, they earn significantly less money, experience more relationship problems, and report lower levels of happiness and life satisfaction. But the psychological costs are even more devastating. Each time you procrastinate, you reinforce a narrative about yourself. I'm the kind of person who doesn't follow through. I can't be trusted with important tasks. I lack the discipline to achieve my goals. These stories become self-fulfilling prophecies, creating a cycle where procrastination leads to diminished self-worth, which leads to more procrastination. Small victories break this cycle by creating a new narrative. I'm someone who takes action. I can be counted on to make progress. I have the ability to achieve my goals. Each small victory is evidence that contradicts the story of inadequacy. Chapter 3. The Victory Method Framework. The 5 Pillars of Small Victories. The Victory Method rests on 5 foundational principles that transform how you approach any task or goal. Pillar 1. Minimum viable progress. Instead of asking, "How can I complete this task?" ask, "What's the smallest possible step I can take toward this goal?" For a presentation, it might be opening PowerPoint. For exercise, it might be putting on workout clothes. For writing, it might be typing 1 sentence. The key is making the step so small that your brain can't rationalize avoiding it. If you find yourself still procrastinating, make the step even smaller. Pillar 2. Celebration amplification. Every small victory must be acknowledged and celebrated. This isn't optional, it's the mechanism that rewires your brain. The celebration doesn't need to be elaborate. It can be as simple as saying yes out loud, doing a small fist pump, or mentally acknowledging your progress. Lisa, a freelance writer, created a victory jar where she put $1 every time she completed a small writing task. After 3 months, she had enough money for a nice dinner and, more importantly, had developed a consistent writing habit that led to her first book contract. Pillar 3. Progress visibility. Make your progress visible and tangible. This could be a simple checklist, a progress bar you create, or a visual representation of your advancement. The act of marking something as complete provides additional dopamine and reinforces the behavior. Pillar 4. Momentum preservation. Treat momentum like a precious resource. Once you complete a small victory, ride that wave to the next small step. Many people make the mistake of celebrating too long or switching to completely different tasks, losing the psychological momentum they've created. Pillar 5. Identity integration. With each small victory, consciously acknowledge how this action aligns with who you want to become. I'm becoming someone who exercises regularly. I'm developing into a disciplined writer. I'm growing into a proactive professional. This transforms actions from isolated events into identity-building activities. The 2-minute rule evolved. David Allen's Getting Things Done methodology introduced the 2-minute rule. If something takes less than 2 minutes, do it immediately. The Victory method evolves this concept. If you can make progress on something in 2 minutes, start immediately. The magic isn't in completing tasks quickly, it's in lowering the barrier to starting. Once you begin, you often find yourself naturally continuing beyond the initial 2 minutes. But even if you don't, you've still created a small victory that builds momentum for tomorrow. Chapter 4. Implementation strategies. The daily victory practice. The most powerful way to integrate small victories into your life is through a structured daily practice. This isn't about adding more to your to-do list, it's about strategically approaching what's already there. Morning victory planning, 5 minutes. Each morning, identify 3 important tasks for the day. For each task, define the smallest possible first step, your victory point. Write these down where you'll see them throughout the day. For example, task, prepare quarterly report. Victory point. Open the report template and add the title, task, call potential client. Victory point. Look up their phone number and write it down. Task, organize digital photos. Victory point. Create a new folder labeled 2025 photos. Midday victory check, 2 minutes. Around noon, review your victory points. If you've completed any, celebrate briefly and identify the next small step. If you haven't started any, choose the easiest one and do it immediately. Evening victory review, 5 minutes. Before ending your workday, acknowledge what you accomplished, no matter how small. Write down tomorrow's victory points while today's momentum is still fresh in your mind. The Procrastination Emergency Protocol. Sometimes, despite your best intentions, you find yourself in a procrastination crisis, deadline approaching, important task undone, panic setting in. The Victory method provides an emergency protocol for these situations. Step 1. Pressure release, 2 minutes. Acknowledge that you're procrastinating without judgment. Say out loud, I'm procrastinating on task, and that's okay for now. This removes the additional stress of fighting your current state. Step 2. Micro-commitment, 30 seconds. Commit to working on the task for exactly 5 minutes. Set a timer. Promise yourself you can stop when it goes off. Step 3. Immediate action, 5 minutes. Start with the absolute smallest step possible. Don't think about the full task, just focus on the tiny action in front of you. Step 4. Momentum decision, 30 seconds. When the timer goes off, notice how you feel. Often, you'll want to continue. If so, set another timer for 15 minutes. If not, celebrate your 5-minute victory and schedule another 5-minute session for later. Maria, a consultant, used this protocol when facing a proposal deadline she'd been avoiding for weeks. Her 5-minute commitment turned into 2 hours of productive work and a completed proposal. But even if she'd stopped after 5 minutes, she would have broken the procrastination cycle and created momentum for the next session. The victory stacking technique. Once you've established a foundation of small victories, you can begin stacking them to create larger achievements. Victory stacking involves linking small victories together in strategic sequences. For example, if you want to start a blog. Victory 1. Choose a blog platform and create an account. Victory 2. Select a theme and customize the basic colors. Victory 3. Write a compelling about page. Just 3-4 sentences. Victory 4. Brainstorm 10 potential blog post topics. Victory 5. Choose the easiest topic and write the first paragraph. Each victory makes the next one easier and more likely. You're not trying to launch the perfect blog in one day, you're building toward that goal through strategic small steps. Chapter 5. Overcoming common obstacles. The too small to matter trap. One of the biggest obstacles people face when implementing small victories is the belief that tiny actions are meaningless. What's the point of writing one sentence? I need to write a whole chapter. Why organize one drawer when my entire office is messy? This thinking misses the fundamental point. Small victories aren't valuable because of their immediate impact. They're valuable because of their compound effect over time and their psychological impact on your identity and momentum. Consider the story of Jerry Seinfeld's calendar method. The famous comedian's advice to aspiring writers was simple. Write every day and mark an X on a calendar for each day you write. The goal becomes not writing the perfect joke or the funniest bit, but simply not breaking the chain of X's. The X on the calendar is a small victory. Writing one joke or one paragraph is a small victory. But the compound effect created by these daily small victories produced one of the most successful comedy careers in history. The perfectionism problem. Perfectionists struggle with small victories because they seem to conflict with their high standards. Why would I celebrate something that's not excellent? But this misunderstands the purpose of small victories. Small victories aren't about lowering your standards, they're about creating the psychological conditions that make high achievement possible. A perfectionist who never starts because they're afraid of creating something imperfect will always achieve less than someone who starts with imperfect action and improves over time. Rachel, a perfectionist architect, struggled to begin her own design portfolio website. She had been researching the perfect design for months without building anything. When she embraced small victories, she committed to putting up one project with basic formatting each week, planning to improve the design later. Within 2 months, Rachel had a complete portfolio online that attracted her first freelance client. More importantly, she discovered that good enough initial work gave her a foundation to build upon, rather than a flaw to hide from. The Momentum Maintenance Challenge. Building momentum through small victories is easier than maintaining it. Life interrupts, motivation wanes, and the initial excitement of your new approach fades. This is normal and expected. The key to momentum maintenance is preparation for setbacks. Instead of seeing missed days or incomplete victories as failures, view them as valuable data about your system. What caused the breakdown? How can you adjust your approach to make it more resilient? Tom, a sales manager, used small victories to build a habit of daily prospecting calls. For 3 weeks, he consistently made his daily minimum of 2 calls. Then he got sick for a week and lost all momentum. Instead of abandoning the system, Tom analyzed what happened and created a minimum viable day protocol for when he was low on energy or time. 1 call, even if it was just leaving a voicemail. This adjustment made his victory system anti-fragilely capable of surviving and even strengthening after disruptions. Chapter 6. Advanced Victory Techniques. The Victory Sandwich Method. For tasks you find particularly unpleasant or challenging, use the Victory Sandwich approach. Surround the difficult task with 2 small victories you enjoy. For instance, if you hate expense reporting, Victory 1. Organize your receipts while listening to your favorite music. Victory 2. Complete the actual expense report. Victory 3. Treat yourself to a good coffee while submitting the report. The positive experiences on either side create positive associations with the entire process, making it easier to approach similar tasks in the future. The Victory Accountability System. Share your small victories with someone who will celebrate them with you. This could be a friend, family member, or colleague who understands the power of small steps. Regular check-ins about small victories create external accountability while reinforcing the positive emotions associated with progress. Kevin and Amanda, two entrepreneurs, created a Victory Buddy system where they texted each other one small victory every day. This simple practice helped both of them launch their businesses by maintaining momentum through daily progress, rather than waiting for major breakthroughs. The Victory Calendar. Create a visual representation of your victories using a calendar or tracking system. This serves multiple purposes. It provides a clear record of your progress, creates additional motivation to maintain streaks, and gives you evidence of your capability during moments of doubt. Use different colors or symbols for different types of victories. Health victories might be green, career victories blue, creative projects red. Over time, you'll see patterns that help you understand your natural rhythms and optimize your approach. The Victory Evolution Protocol. As small victories become easier and more automatic, gradually increase their size or complexity. This keeps you challenged without overwhelming you. Start with victories so small they feel almost trivial. Once these become routine, slightly expand them. The key is making increases so gradual that they don't trigger procrastination responses. For writing, this might look like Week 1-2, write 1 sentence per day. Week 3-4, write 1 paragraph per day. Week 5-6, write for 10 minutes per day. Week 7-8, write for 15 minutes per day. Each level builds on the previous one while remaining achievable. Chapter 7. Small victories in different life areas. Career and professional development. In professional settings, small victories can transform your career trajectory by building skills, improving performance, and creating positive momentum. Skill development victory. Instead of committing to mastering a new software program, commit to learning one new feature per day. Over a month, you'll have a solid foundation without ever feeling overwhelmed. Networking victory. Rather than forcing yourself to attend intimidating networking events, commit to having one meaningful professional conversation per week, whether it's with a colleague, client, or industry contact. Leadership victory. If you want to become a better leader, start with one small leadership action daily, giving specific positive feedback to one team member, asking one thoughtful question in a meeting, or taking initiative on one small task. Health and fitness. Health transformations often fail because people attempt dramatic changes that aren't sustainable. Small victories create lasting change by building habits gradually. Exercise victory. Begin with putting on workout clothes every morning, regardless of whether you exercise. This simple action creates the foundation for more activity, while removing barriers to movement. Nutrition victory. Instead of overhauling your entire diet, add one healthy choice to each meal. A piece of fruit with breakfast, a salad with lunch, vegetables with dinner. These additions naturally crowd out less healthy options over time. Sleep victory. Improve sleep by making your bedroom 1% better each night. Move your phone charger away from your bed, adjust the room temperature, organize tomorrow's clothes. Small environmental improvements compound into better rest. Relationships and personal life. Small victories can strengthen relationships and improve personal satisfaction by creating positive interactions and meaningful progress on personal goals. Relationship victory. Send one appreciative text to a friend or family member each day. Express genuine gratitude or share a positive memory. These small gestures accumulate into stronger connections. Learning victory. If you want to read more, commit to reading 1 page per day. This removes the pressure of finishing books quickly while ensuring consistent engagement with new ideas. Creative victory. For creative pursuits, focus on showing up rather than creating masterpieces. Write 1 sentence, sketch 1 object, play 1 song. Consistency in small creative acts builds creative confidence and skill over time. Financial management. Financial stress, often leads to avoidance, making small victories particularly powerful for money management. Budgeting victory. Instead of creating a complex budget, track one expense category for a week. Understanding where your money goes in one area makes broader financial planning less intimidating. Saving victory. Start with saving an amount so small it doesn't impact your lifestyle, perhaps one per day. The habit of saving matters more than the amount, and you can increase it gradually. Investment victory. Begin learning about investing by reading one short article per day or listening to one 10-minute podcast episode. Knowledge builds confidence, which leads to action. Chapter 8. The Psychology of Transformation. Identity-based victory building. The most powerful aspect of small victories isn't what they accomplish externally, it's how they change your internal narrative about who you are. Every small victory is a vote for the person you want to become. When you complete a small writing victory, you're not just making progress on a project, you're reinforcing the identity of someone who writes. When you complete a small exercise victory, you're strengthening the identity of someone who is active. These identity shifts are far more powerful than temporary motivation because they create lasting behavioral change. Dr. B.J. Fogg's research at Stanford reveals that behavior change happens most effectively when it aligns with identity. People don't just want to lose weight, they want to become the kind of person who naturally maintains a healthy weight. They don't just want to write a book, they want to become a writer. Small victories accelerate identity transformation because they provide frequent evidence of your new identity. Instead of waiting for a major achievement to prove you're different, you create daily proof through small actions. The compound psychology effect. Just as compound interest creates exponential financial growth over time, compound psychology creates exponential personal growth. Each small victory makes the next one more likely and easier to achieve. This happens through several mechanisms. Increased self-efficacy. Each victory proves to yourself that you can achieve goals, making you more likely to attempt challenging tasks. Reduced task anxiety. Familiarity with taking action reduces the stress associated with starting new projects. Enhanced problem solving. Regular practice overcoming small obstacles builds your general problem-solving abilities. Greater resilience. Experience bouncing back from minor setbacks prepares you for handling major challenges. Consider the story of Elena, a software developer who wanted to transition into product management. She felt overwhelmed by the scope of learning required. Market research, user experience, project management, stakeholder communication, and strategic planning. Instead of attempting to master everything at once, Elena committed to one small victory daily related to product management. Day 1. Read one article about user research. Day 2. Analyze one feature in her favorite app. Day 3. Listen to 15 minutes of a product management podcast. Day 4. Interview one colleague about their user experience. Day 5. Create a simple wireframe for improving an internal tool. After 6 months of daily small victories, Elena had built substantial knowledge and confidence in product management. More importantly, she had established herself as someone who thinks like a product manager, leading to opportunities to take on product responsibilities in her current role and eventually transition to a full product management position. The transformation happened not through any single victory, but through the compound effect of consistent small actions that gradually shifted her identity, skills, and opportunities. Breaking the all-or-nothing trap. One of the most destructive psychological patterns is all-or-nothing thinking. If you can't do something perfectly or completely, it's not worth doing at all. This mindset kills more dreams and goals than any external obstacle. Small victories are the antidote to all-or-nothing thinking. They prove that partial progress is not only valuable, but often more sustainable than attempting perfection. Michael wanted to learn Spanish, but felt frustrated by language learning apps that seemed to require hours of daily practice. His all-or-nothing mindset told him that unless he could dedicate significant time to language learning, he shouldn't bother starting. When Michael embraced small victories, he committed to learning just one new Spanish word per day. Some days he learned more, but he never allowed himself to feel guilty about the minimum. After 1 year, he had learned over 300 words and developed enough confidence to have basic conversations with Spanish-speaking colleagues. The key insight: 300 words learned through daily small victories is infinitely more than 0 words learned while waiting for the perfect time to begin intensive study. Chapter 9. Troubleshooting your victory system. When small victories feel too small. As you build momentum through small victories, you may reach a point where they no longer feel satisfying or challenging. This is actually a sign of success. Your capacity has grown, and it's time to gradually expand your victories. The key word is gradually. Don't jump from writing 1 sentence daily to writing 1,000 words. Instead, move from 1 sentence to 1 paragraph, then to 5 minutes of writing, then to 10 minutes. Think of small victories like physical exercise. When lifting 5-pound weights becomes easy, you don't immediately jump to 50 pounds. You move to 8 pounds, then 10, then 15, allowing your strength to build naturally. Dealing with victory shame. Some people experience shame around celebrating small victories, feeling they should be capable of more significant achievements. This shame is often rooted in comparison with others or unrealistic expectations about productivity and success. Remember that small victories are not a sign of weakness. They're a strategic choice based on how human psychology actually works. The most successful people often achieve their goals through accumulated small actions rather than dramatic gestures. If you find yourself minimizing your victories, practice acknowledging them out loud. I completed my planned victory for today. I'm building positive momentum. I'm becoming the person I want to be. These statements help counteract shame and reinforce the value of your progress. Overcoming victory fatigue. After weeks or months of consistent small victories, you might experience fatigue with the process. The initial excitement wears off, and the victories start feeling routine or mechanical. This is normal and predictable. The solution isn't to abandon the system, but to inject variety and challenge into your victories while maintaining the core principles. Try these refresher strategies. Victory themes. Focus all victories for a week around a specific theme, like creativity or health. Victory challenges. Create fun challenges, like completing victories in different locations or at different times. Victory partnerships. Team up with someone else and share victories or compete in friendly ways. Victory evolution. Gradually increase the complexity or scope of your victories when life disrupts your victory rhythm. Illness, travel, family emergencies, work crises. Life will inevitably disrupt your victory routine. The key is preparation and flexibility rather than perfection. Create a minimum viable victory protocol for difficult days, the absolute smallest action you can take to maintain momentum. This might be as simple as writing 1 word, doing 1 push-up, or reading 1 paragraph. The goal isn't to maintain your normal pace during disruptions. It's to maintain the connection to your identity and habits so you can quickly resume full momentum when circumstances improve. Chapter 10. Advanced Applications and Case Studies. The Victory-Driven Business. Small victories aren't just personal productivity tools, they can transform entire businesses and organizations. Companies that apply victory principles create cultures of progress, innovation, and employee engagement. Techstart, a struggling software company, was facing low morale, missed deadlines, and declining productivity. Instead of implementing major organizational changes, CEO Jennifer introduced a company-wide, small victory culture. Each team identified daily victory points for their projects. Developers committed to writing and testing 1 small feature per day. Sales staff committed to making 1 meaningful prospect connection daily. Customer service set goals of resolving 1 complex issue per day while maintaining their regular workload. The company created a shared victory board where teams could post completed victories, and they started each weekly meeting by sharing victories from the previous week. Within 3 months, TechStart saw measurable improvements in project completion rates, employee satisfaction, and customer retention. The key insight: small victories at the organizational level create positive momentum and culture change just as effectively as they do for individuals. The victory learning system. Traditional education often emphasizes large assignments and high-stakes testing, which can trigger procrastination and anxiety in many students. The victory learning system applies small victory principles to academic achievement. Graduate student Marcus was struggling to complete his dissertation research, feeling overwhelmed by the scope of data analysis required. His advisor suggested breaking the work into daily victories. Analyze data from one survey respondent per day. This approach seemed almost ridiculously small, given the hundreds of responses Marcus needed to process. But within 2 months, he had completed his analysis and discovered insights that might have been missed if he'd tried to rush through larger chunks of data. More importantly, the daily victories maintained Marcus's engagement with his research, preventing the avoidance and anxiety that had plagued his previous academic work. The victory recovery method. Small victories are particularly powerful for people recovering from setbacks, whether personal, professional, or health-related. They provide a structured way to rebuild confidence and momentum when facing challenges that feel overwhelming. After experiencing burnout from her high-pressure marketing job, Sandra felt paralyzed about returning to work. The idea of jumping back into her previous pace seemed impossible, but staying unemployed was financially unsustainable. Sandra used small victories to gradually rebuild her professional confidence. Week 1. Update one section of her resume daily. Week 2. Apply to one job per day, regardless of whether it was perfect fit. Week 3. Practice answering one interview question per day. Week 4. Reach out to one professional contact daily. By the end of the month, Sandra had not only landed interviews, but had rebuilt her confidence in her professional abilities. The small victories proved she was still capable while avoiding the overwhelm that had contributed to her burnout. The Victory Leadership Model. Leaders who understand small victories can create more effective teams and achieve better results by helping others build momentum and confidence. Manager David noticed that his team was struggling with a complex quarterly project that seemed to stall week after week. Instead of increasing pressure or implementing new tracking systems, David restructured the project around daily victories. Each team member identified one small daily action that moved the project forward. The graphic designer committed to creating one visual element daily. The writer committed to drafting one section daily. The programmer committed to completing one small feature daily. David's role shifted from taskmaster to victory facilitator, helping team members identify appropriate victory points and celebrating completed victories in daily stand-up meetings. The project not only finished on time but exceeded original expectations because the daily momentum led to creative improvements and innovations. Chapter 11. The Future You. Visualizing victory-driven success. 6 months from now, what will your life look like if you consistently apply small victories? The changes might surprise you with their scope and depth. Your morning routine includes planning 3 small victories for the day, and you complete them with increasing ease and confidence. Projects that once felt overwhelming now seem manageable because you automatically break them into victory-sized pieces. You've developed a reputation among friends and colleagues as someone who gets things done consistently. More importantly, your internal narrative has shifted. Instead of seeing yourself as someone who procrastinates, you've become someone who takes daily action toward goals. Instead of feeling guilty about incomplete projects, you feel proud of consistent progress. Instead of being motivated by external pressure, you're driven by internal momentum. This isn't fantasy, it's the predictable result of consistent, small victories compounded over time. The ripple effects of victory-based living. Small victories create benefits that extend far beyond the original goals. As you build momentum in one area of life, that energy naturally spills over into other areas. Regular exercise victories lead to better sleep and nutrition choices. Writing victories improve communication skills at work. Financial victories reduce stress in relationships. Learning victories increase confidence in professional situations. These ripple effects happen because small victories strengthen your general capacity for achievement. You develop what psychologists call self-efficacy, the belief that you can successfully handle challenges and achieve goals. Building a victory legacy. The most profound impact of small victories might be their effect on others around you. When people see you consistently making progress through small actions, they begin to believe it's possible for them too. Your consistency gives others permission to start small. Your celebration of minor progress shows them that every step matters. Your transformation from procrastinator to action taker proves that change is possible. Parents who practice small victories raise children who understand that achievement comes through consistent effort rather than sudden inspiration. Professionals who model victory-based progress inspire colleagues to tackle challenges they've been avoiding. Friends who share victories create supportive communities focused on growth rather than complaint. This ripple effect means that your small victories aren't just changing your life, they're contributing to a culture that values progress over perfection, action over analysis, and momentum over motivation. Conclusion: your victory starts now. The journey from procrastination to progress doesn't begin with a dramatic moment of inspiration or a complete life overhaul. It begins with one small action, taken right now, towards something that matters to you. You don't need to feel ready. You don't need the perfect plan. You don't need unlimited time or energy. You just need to identify one tiny step you can take today and commit to taking it. Maybe it's opening the document for that project you've been avoiding. Maybe it's writing down 3 victory points for tomorrow. Maybe it's simply deciding that you're ready to become someone who celebrates small progress instead of waiting for big breakthroughs. Whatever your first small victory is, make it smaller than seems reasonable. Make it so easy that your brain can't justify avoiding it. Then do it, celebrate it, and plan your next one. Remember, you're not just completing tasks. You're becoming the kind of person who takes action. You're not just achieving goals, you're building the identity of someone who doesn't let important things slide. You're not just overcoming procrastination, you're creating a life of consistent progress toward what matters most. The power of small victories isn't just in what they accomplish today. It's in who they help you become over time. Every victory is a vote for your future self, a small deposit in the account of your potential, a tiny step toward the life you want to live. Your transformation begins now, not when you feel ready, not when you have the perfect system, not when conditions are ideal. Now, with whatever small step you can take in this moment, what will your first small victory be? The timer starts now. You have everything you need. Take that first small step, celebrate it, and watch as small victories transform not just your productivity but your entire life. Your future self is waiting, and they're built one small victory at a time.